ओके सो वेलकम बैक गाइस। सो अब हमारा जो मर्ज डीएम है उसमें से हमारा रीजन के लिए हमको एरिया क्लिप करना है। सो देयर सीम्स टू बी सम इशू विद द मास्क लेयर। सो अगर एक्सटेंड के बेसिस पे ट्राई करें, सो आई विल चूज फ्रॉम द लेयर नागपुर एओआई, सो इट विल पिक all the four vertices because our vector layer is a square or a rectangular in shape, तो वो आराम से चारों vertices को पिक करके ड्रॉ कर सकता है। So now we click on run. So now if you go to जो merged layer है इसको हम ऑफ कर दें अगर टर्न ऑफ, and if you see this, so if we set this to, again we have to keep it to the region, so you will find that the DEM is clipped. So now we can keep this region above our DEM. Alright, so we will keep this at like a boundary now. इसके ऊपर रखते हैं. We are able to see, so some extra portion has got added. That is fine. At this point we are not going into the specifics, but we are looking more how to process the data. So alright, so now I will rename this file as Nagpur DEM. So if I expand this, तो आपको दिखेगा कि जो नागपुर रीजन का एलिवेशन है that ranges from 209 to 432 meters. If I want to see it in colors, मैं डबल क्लिक करूँगा लेयर को, सिम्बोलॉजी सूडो कलर में जाऊँगा, and then I will click on apply. So you can see here the higher elevation points are marked in a different color and the lower elevation points are marked in a green color. So at times this is useful, most of the times it is not useful. So I will convert it into discrete so that I will equal interval and I will keep here 5 classes. Apply. So and मैं precision भी 0 कर देता हूँ because I do not want any decimal point. So you can see it is very evident कि which are the highest elevation areas in the region marked in the जो भी area which are marked in dark brown are the areas having the highest elevation, and the areas marked in blue do not represent water but they represent the area with a lesser elevation. Alright, so now next step is I have to mark the contours. So I will write here extraction, Nagpur layer I will choose, I will keep an elevation interval of 15, run, and I think once the algorithm starts and finishes its operation, you will see now contours on your area. So now very beautifully the contours are drawn for your layer. So now again you can change the colors and patterns of your contour. For example, I give it a blue color if I want. Alright, then contours I can add the labels if I want. So since if I open the attribute table of this contour layer, I will find that the elevation data is in the ELEV column. So I will go to the layer again. In the single label, I will add the ELEV column. Then I can press apply, and then if you will see here closely, the elevations will be marked. However, they are not that clearly visible, so I will put it in a darker texture. However, I can always reduce the font for better visualization, and I can change the color to a sharp color, that is red, so you are always able to visible. Let us keep it at 8. So now you are able to see that the highest marked areas are having elevation up to 390. So this is one, we have drawn the elevation, second we have drawn the contour. Now third I want to draw the slope. So once I will write here slope, so here I will get this grass tool. Then again, if you do not have grass in your QGIS, I suggest you go to manage and install plugin and click here grass and just install the grass tools. So once they are installed, once you search slope, you will find here slope r.slope.aspect. If I double click, so the aspect map will ask the DEM, or also called as the elevation. So I will choose the Nagpur DEM, and in which unit I want the slope. I want it in degrees, and I only want the slope map. I do not want the aspect, tangential, curvature and all these other maps. So I will click them and I will click on run. So now you will see the algorithm running, and once the algorithm is finished running, a new layer for the slope of the region shall be created. So I forgot to close the profile curvature, so one more layer has got generated. If you need, you can generate more, however we are focused on the slope. So now, for now, I will close the contour layer. If I go to slope, again I will keep it to multicolor. Then again let us bring it into 5 intervals. Classify, I do not want any decimal points, let us keep it to 0. Click to apply. I want to choose a slightly milder color. Yeah, I think this is more evident now. So I will put the contours layer here on top. So once you see again the darkest region having the higher contour values versus the flatter lines, and similarly if I see the elevation in the region, the points which are having higher contour and higher slope are having the highest elevation. Okay, so one more we can draw the hill shade. So I will create a duplicate. I will give a fresh name to it. I will give it as like Nagpur hill shade. Alright, so now if I click on this, now only hill shade we can develop for the data which has the elevation value. So you will say where it is developed, uske liye you will close the okay. So there seems to be some